Hello children, hope you have completed the chapter Forces and Laws of Motion with my video lecture and with the help of your science NCERT book and other reference books in physics. So after completion of the chapter, after the discussion of the theories related to the syllabus, now I am going to discuss questions from NCERT book and other reference books. I will also discuss questions from NCERT exemplar problem books. So today let us start with NCERT problems. You should have your NCERT book in front of you and try to understand the question. You have to understand the concepts related to the question and then reply accordingly. So let us start with question number 1 in NCERT exercise, chapter Forces and Laws of Motion. So first question is, an object experiences a net zero external unbalanced force. Is it possible for the object to be traveling with a non-zero velocity? If yes, state the conditions that must be placed on the magnitude and direction of the velocity. If no, provide a reason. So just try to understand the first part. An object experiences a net zero external unbalanced force. Unbalanced force means existence of net force on a body. Net zero external force. What does it mean? It means that there is no net force acting on a body. Okay? And you know, if net force will be zero, then there will be no effect of force on the body. Now, is it possible for the object to be traveling with a non-zero velocity? Now question is asking, if there is no net force on a body, will the body travel with non-zero velocity? Means will the body be still in motion, or it is not possible to be in motion in the absence of unbalanced force? It was discussed there whenever I was discussing theory that force is required to change the state. And if the force is not there, means first law states that if force is absent, means no net external force is acting on a body, even then a body continues its present state. And that present state can be the state of rest, can be the state of motion. So what can you conclude from there? You should conclude from there that if a body is in uniform motion, it will continue to be in motion, means velocity is possible even if there is no net force. Is it clear? After then, if yes, state the conditions that must be placed on the magnitude and direction of the velocity. Now, you have to write about the conditions, that what should be the condition. The first condition is that, you know, whenever a body moves on a surface, there may be a friction. So frictional force should be minimized. There should be minimum frictional force, and that should also be come into consideration with the net force. Is it clear? Means frictional force should also be into consideration with the net force. After then, there should be no air resistance, because you know, if air resistance will be there, then the body will be losing its velocity, means it will be decelerated. So all these should be conditions. In a nutshell, you can say that if net force is zero, taking in contact with the friction as well as air resistance, then the body can continue to be in motion. One thing should be remembered, that whatever I told you, that is only discussion. You have not to write all those things in the answer. On the basis of my discussion with you, you should write the answers in your own words. I am not telling you, I am not dictating you answer. Is it clear? Okay. Second question is, when a carpet is beaten with a stick, dust comes out of it. Explain. I discussed this example there whenever I was discussing about inertia. You recall the concept related to inertia of rest. Whenever the carpet will be beaten with the help of the stick, carpet will set into motion and the dust particles will remain at rest due to the property of inertia of rest. So what will happen? The dust particles will fall down and the carpet will change its position. Is it clear? So what is the reason here? Inertia of rest. After then, question number 3, why is it advised to tie any luggage kept on the roof of a bus with a rope? You see, whenever you keep the luggage on the roof of a bus, it is in contact with the roof of the bus. Suppose bus gets accelerated, means bus is at a stop and it starts suddenly. What will happen? Bus will set into motion and the friction between the surface of the roof of the bus and your luggage is not sufficient to get the luggage move with the bus. Then what will happen? The luggage will fall down. The luggage will fall down. So it is advised that the luggage should be kept on the roof of the bus and it should be bound with the bus. Okay, you can just see the example. Suppose this is the body kept here. You see, if it will be accelerated, what will happen? If it will be accelerated, you see it has fallen down. Fallen down. In the same way, the luggage can fall down. Okay. So, here again the property of inertia is the answer. Next question is, a batsman hits a cricket ball which then rolls on a level ground. After covering a short distance, the ball comes to rest. The ball slows to a stop because the batsman did not hit the ball hard enough. Velocity is proportional to the force exerted on the ball. There is a force on the ball opposing the motion. There is no unbalanced force on the ball, so the ball would want to come to rest. Means you have 4 options. First option is the ball slows to a stop because, first option, the batsman did not hit the ball hard enough. This is not the answer. Because whatever the force is applied by the batsman, that is a momentary force. And as soon as the ball gets detached with the bat, the force stops acting. Okay? So whatever the velocity ball has attained, that will be the initial velocity now. Second, velocity is proportional to the force exerted on the ball. No, it's wrong. Acceleration is proportional to the force applied on the ball. It is in the second law of motion. Third, there is a force on the ball opposing the motion. This is the answer. Means whenever ball is hit by the bat, the ball experiences some force applied by the ground, which is called frictional force, due to which its velocity decreases with time, and after a certain time, after traveling a certain distance, ball gets stopped. Okay, so this is the answer. Question number 5. A truck starts from rest and rolls down a hill with a constant acceleration. It travels a distance of 400 meters in 20 seconds. Find its acceleration. Find the force acting on it if its mass is 7 metric tons. So let us discuss this question on the board. A truck starts from rest. You see, a truck starts from rest means u is 0 given. U is equal to 0. After that, and rolls down a hill with a constant acceleration. It is rolling down a hill. Suppose this is the inclined surface along which the truck is rolling. If a body is rolling along the inclined surface, it means there is an acceleration. You see why? Suppose here is a body on the incline. A weight will act downwards, mg, and this mg will have a component along this direction and along this direction. And this inclined surface will apply a normal reaction along this direction. Although it is not in your syllabus to discuss all these normal reaction and all, but you just have to understand here that this component mg sin theta, provided this angle is theta, mg cos theta, and this is mg sin theta. Again, here it is not necessary to understand mg sin theta and mg cos theta, but you should learn that there is a force along the incline which is acting on the body downwards, means it is in the direction of motion. It is causing acceleration. So what will happen? Due to this acceleration caused by mg sin theta, the truck will move down the incline with increasing velocity. Okay? Now next part is there. It travels a distance of 400 meter in 20 seconds. Suppose it travels a distance of 400 meter. S is equal to 400 meter. In 20 seconds means t is equal to 20 seconds. T is equal to 20 seconds. After that, find its acceleration and find the force acting on it. If mass is 7 metric tons, you see mass is equal to 7 metric tons. 1 metric ton is equal to 1000 kg. So this is 7 into 1000 means 7000 kg. This is the mass of the truck. You have to find a acceleration. You have to find force. You have U, you have S, you have T, and you have to find A. Now you recall the formula by which you can find the value of A using U, S and T. Can you recall? S is equal to ut plus half at square. So use the formula S is equal to ut plus half at square. Using S is equal to ut plus half at square. S is 400. U is 0. So this is 0 into T is 20 plus half A. Half A. A is to be obtained. T square means 20 square. So this will be 400 is equal to 0 into 20 is 0. This is half into A into 20 square means 400. You see this 400 can be cancelled by 2 with 200. So you have 200A is equal to 400. Means A is equal to 400 by 200, that is 2 meter per second square. So acceleration is 2 meter per second square. Now force. Therefore force is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass is 7000 into 2. So this is 14,000 Newton. This is the answer. Got it? So by this way you can find the answer. Now you can think that why have I discussed all these? Although these are not required to be discussed here in the solution, but I wanted to explain that from where the acceleration will come. Is it clear? From where the acceleration will come. So whenever you will solve this question in exam, you have not to draw this diagram. This diagram is not required in the question. I just have drawn the diagram to explain the cause of acceleration, here to explain the base from where the acceleration will be caused, because there is no predefined force given in the question. Is it clear? Okay, so whenever you solve this question in exam, you don't draw the diagram. Now, question number 6. A stone of 1 kg is thrown with a velocity of 20 meters per second across the frozen surface of a lake and comes to rest after traveling a distance of 50 meters. What is the force of friction between the stone and the ice? You see, a stone of 1 kg is thrown with a velocity of 20 meters per second. This is question number 6. So given u is equal to 20 meters per second, because it is the initial velocity with which the stone has been thrown. U is equal to 20 meters per second and mass of the stone is 1 kg. Mass of the stone is 1 kg. After then, it has stopped, comes to rest after traveling a distance of 50 meters. Comes to rest means V is equal to 0 and S is equal to 50 meters. You got it. Now what is asked? It is asked to find the frictional force. You see, how can you discuss about the frictional force? It is the frictional force which will stop the body. Although the idea of frictional force is not in your syllabus, but you just see, here is a surface and the body is moving with certain velocity v, and after then it stops. What does it mean? There is a force which is opposing the motion of the body, and that force acts on this surface, the surface of contact of the two bodies. This surface is called friction, and depends upon the nature of the surfaces in contact, means nature of the body and the surface. So all these will be discussed in the higher classes, means in detail you will learn about friction in the higher classes. Here you just have to think that friction is the force which can cause deceleration. In some cases friction also causes acceleration, but those will not be discussed here. So you have to find this friction. Here you just have to understand that friction is the decelerating force. Friction is causing the deceleration. So by using a formula, you must find the value of A first and then find the value of force. So you see U, V and S. You have to find A. Can you recall the formula? Yes, V square is equal to U square plus 2S. So use V square is equal to U square plus 2S. See, V is 0, 0 square. It is equal to U square. U is 20 square plus 2A into S is 50. You can write it here then. See, 0 is equal to 20 square means 400 plus 2 into 50, it is 100A. So 100A is equal to minus 400. A is equal to minus 400 by 100. This is 4 meter, minus 4 meter per second square. Minus 4 meter per second square. You see this minus sign. Minus 400 meter per second square. Now you see this acceleration means A is negative. What does it mean? A is negative means force is opposite to the direction of motion. Therefore friction is F is equal to MA. You see M is 1 and A is minus 4. But whenever you will use the word friction, this minus will become plus. So it will be plus 4 means 4 Newton. If it is asked from you that what is the force acting on the body, then your answer should be it is minus 4 Newton. But if it is asked from you that what is friction, the answer will be 4 Newton. Is it clear? So these are the questions related to the NCERT book. Now other questions will be discussed in the next lecture. Thank you.